They do. Fly ball left field. Tagging from third is Suarez. Goodell comes running in. He's under it. Makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. It's in the air. He is out! Cameron Rupp hangs on! Oh, man, what a play! Cameron Rupp hangs on!
Wow.
Everybody to their feet. What a play by Cameron Rupp. The throw took him into the baseline. He grabs it, hangs on, takes the contact, and the ball game is over. Another one-run victory. Now they are going to
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 9th episode of the Drive Podcast, and holy shit, the Philadelphia Phillies are the best team in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I never thought, we thought, we knew that they were going to be the best team in Philadelphia, like, in the near future, but not this quickly. And, and I don't even know if it's just, like, the Phillies are the best team, or if it's just, like, all the other teams suck.
The team that we despise the least, I think, is the correct
It's a mix.
term.
It's a mix, yeah.
Yeah, but to start off, before we even get into anything else today, I think it's important that we bring up our condolences and just thoughts about the passing of Dallas Green, who was the first Phillies manager to bring a Philadelphia World Series. So thank you, Dallas Green, for all that you did for Philadelphia and the memories that you created. Just a great manager and a great person just all together, and it's nothing that we're not exactly not familiar with. The Phillies have had a lot of people pass away in the past couple of years, but Dallas is one that sticks out compared to a lot of others, and he, again, is one of the only two managers in the history of the city to bring a World Series here, so our thoughts go out to his family and a lot of the people who were, growing up in the 80s and saw that 80 team and fell in love with baseball because of them. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
just our thoughts and prayers to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just when you see him and, like, the way he managed and, like, all his, like, the post-game and the post-series footage that you saw of him, like, celebrating with the team, like, it just looked like you could tell, like, the players just enjoyed playing for him. Like, he just seemed like he was just, like, a guy that, he loved his players just like he would love, his family members and everything. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously, it sucks to see him go because he was a big part of the Phillies organization for the last 35 years. And, like, just watching the game, the games, the past few days and seeing, like, them getting some Phillies, players from that time period and front office members and just people from the organization and all the people are just, there's nothing bad to say about Dallas Green. So, yeah, we just thought it was a good way to start off the podcast today. So, it's obviously, like I said, it sucks, but
The home opener is definitely going to be a tribute to him. Like, they're going to pull out all the stops like the Phillies usually do for when
that is
one of their family passes away. So
that is one thing that the Phillies are really good at, just, teaching the fans the history and what a person meant to the organization.
Absolutely. So, try not to be so sad now. Well, our topic we're going to next is kind of depressing, but the Flyers, they suck. They're not making the playoffs. I think that's it for the Flyers. Like, that's it. That's all we have to say. What else is there to say? God damn it!
I don't know. I don't even know. I keep going back to this, but when we started the podcast back in January, and it was like, we really don't see how the Sixers couldn't make the playoffs, and now we're,
the Flyers, sir.
And now there's 8 games left for the Flyers to play, and we don't think that they're gonna make the playoffs. Like, it's still not impossible for them to make the playoffs. They're still in it technically, but they're, I believe, 6 points out right now.
It's something like that.
Yeah, and
see, this is the thing. I haven't even been keeping track because I've just been like, they're not making it.
Yeah, like, they're a few points. They're not gonna get the top 3 in the division. Like, that's not a possibility.
That went out the window a while ago.
It's gonna be Columbus. It's gonna be Pittsburgh, and it's gonna be Washington. That's gonna be the top 3 from the Metro. But then the Rangers have the first wild card spot pretty much locked in, and then it's just a fight for the second wild card spot. And I'm pretty sure right now they're about 6 points back, maybe 8.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're 8 points out.
They're 8 out. Okay. So yeah, and they only have 8 games to play, so they have to win at least, like, at minimum 6 of these last 8 if they want to have a chance to make the playoffs. And they just need a lot of help at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what to even say about the team lately. They haven't been good. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, Haxtell has had really stupid coaching decisions. Travis Konechny's still in the 4th line with Belmar and Van de Velde, even though he's
miles
no
better.
shit. He's one of the best offensive players on the team right now. But let's play him with our 2 worst offensive players.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
and
that's
Couturier
one of
keeps
the,
getting screwed with Shen and Weiss, so who knows?
Yeah, the Konechny 4th line debacle is like... Oh, I just nailed... I bumped my mic. Wow. The Konechny 4th line debacle is... like, it's mind-blowing to me, because it's like... Why would you put somebody who... When he was playing, like, for the first however many games he played before he got hurt... He was playing well, like, for a 19-year-old in his first season in the NHL. He was playing pretty well. Like, don't get me wrong, he was overshadowed by Ivan Provorov, because Provorov was playing like a 25-year-old who's been in the league for 6 years, is still in his prime, and is really good. That's just Ivan Provorov. Konechny was playing really well, too. It's just that he was overshadowed. And now, Dave Haxtell is basically taking Konechny and just, like, driving his confidence level straight down, because he's putting him on the 4th line with pretty much 2 of our worst forwards. And I don't understand why Haxtell thinks that's a good idea. The only thing
it's the same thing with Provorov and McDonald. Like, why are you pairing your best defenseman with your arguably... No, screw that. He is the worst defenseman. There's no arguing about it. Mm-hmm. It's the same argument.
Yeah, and even with, like... I don't even know if I would call it logical. The only way that I would think that Haxtell thinks this is an okay thing to do would be that, he's giving Konechny 2 lesser players to work with, and so that would force him to create and everything. But still, I don't think it's a good idea.
But, like, he already did create. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Like, he was creating with guys like Couturier and Voracek and whoever else he was playing with. It's just Dave Haxtell doesn't know how to manage the lines, and we've known that the entire season. He's been god-awful with that ever since... This may be good for, like, the first couple of weeks, and then the team, like, didn't get off to the greatest of starts, so then he changed it up, and it's just been mad line changes all season long, and it's just a mess. Like, I can't keep track of it anymore. Like,
yeah.
Del Zotto, he went from having the most ice time in one game to being scratched the next, and now he's back in the lineup. What the fuck is the point? Like, what are you trying to do? You can't be searching for things at this point in the season. Like, you're out of the playoffs. Just put your best players with your best players, and put your shittiest players with your shittiest players. Like, you can make that argument earlier in the year that, like, don't put Schultz and McDonald together, or don't put Schultz and whoever, like, and Manning together. But now you can fucking do that because the season's over. Like, just play Provorov with Ghost, and just top load everything. Because the season's over. What does it matter at this point? At least, give your younger players some incentive to actually want to try for the rest of the season, and give them some freaking opportunities to score. Because you're not putting Provy with McDonald having to deal with Mac trying to do spin moves in the fucking middle of the ice. Acting like, this is why I actually like Schultz compared to McDonald, because at least Schultz knows he sucks. McDonald's like, I'm a fucking top 3 defenseman because my coach says so. So I'm gonna go out there and do spin moves because coach said I'm good. Yeah. Coach said I'm a good boy.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, with like the just like top load everything. At this point, we're 8 points out with 8 games left, and it's just like, just top load everything and just hope that your top lines and your top defensemen just outperform the other team so well and so much that you could afford mistakes from your bottom lines. And at this point, that's literally all we could hope for. That's like the only thing that, at the moment, we could probably do to make the playoffs. And, like, that's even a long shot, so.
That's the only thing that would, like, has me looking forward to the last couple of games if they do that, but I know Hack's not going to do that. And tonight's a perfect night to do it. You have Pittsburgh tonight. Fucking go out there and just play Ghost with Voracek. Yeah, okay.
that'd be a slate.
Make Ghost a forward. People have been saying that all year, actually. Oh, make Ghost a forward. That's not no, just stop.
Yeah, that's the issue.
It's not. He's not Brent Burns, okay? Just stop doing that. That's not the answer, guys. Just stop. But play Drew with Jake. Play Couture. No, you know what? Screw that. Play Couturier on the first line because he deserves it after the bullshit that he's put up with this year.
Oh,
he gets freaking Dale Weiss every night. Screw that.
Oh,
Coots gets Voracek and Giroux.
I would love to just see. I would love to see Couturier with like a top line pair of forwards because it's like we haven't seen it at all, except for the times when like one of them is like out stuck on the ice and Couturier happens to like be on his shift or something. Something probably good happens when that does happen, even in the 10 seconds that it happens.
They get at least like a chance, like 90% of the time.
Yeah,
but
probably. And it's just I don't get why we haven't seen it yet. Like I could see if we were in the playoff, like if we were very close, maybe 2 points out, or holding the wild card spot or something. If we were in it, then sure, keep the lines the same, keep the chemistry and the continuity the same. But like at this point, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a long shot, but it's unlikely that the playoffs are in the Flyers' future. So why not just give it a shot? Just give it a shot at this point.
Yeah, like you might as well put your best offensive players in the best offensive opportunities. It's not rocket science, and I saw someone say oh, well, Couturier had Voracek for the beginning part of the year. Yeah, good for him. He had Voracek for the beginning part of the year until Coots got hurt. And then, of course, during that time where Coots was hurt, Voracek and Giroux clicked for like 2 seconds. That like Voracek-Giroux raffle line clicked. And then Coots like never saw Jake for the rest of the year. That's not... I don't count that. That's not like good for you. It was like maybe 20 games. That's not like an actual... Oh yeah, Coots had a star player alongside him this year. That's it. Like for a fourth of the season he did, but that doesn't. It's not enough to make that argument. So he's had Weiss alongside of him and Reed, and look, nothing against Matt Reed. He's just not. I don't know what Matt Reed is anymore because when he came into the team, he was the speedy winger who could go bar down almost every shot. Now he's just. Like I don't know what he is. Is he a third line checking forward or is he a scorer? Like I know they've tried him on the first line with Giroux sometimes, but it's just like he doesn't have that ability anymore. I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, the last few games have been the only real positives, I guess, for Reed. If you were gonna even say that they're positives, because it's. I don't even know if you'd want to call them positives. It's just like the brightest spots that we could take from him this year because of how
he's just been knocked
trash he has been played. Yeah, just because of how badly he's played this year. Like that, these past few games have been bright spots. So, I don't know at this point. The line situation is just a mess. It's been for much of the year. Like if you go back and just listen to what we've been saying and listen to what everybody else has been pretty much saying. The line situation with the Flyers is a mess, and coincidentally, Dave Hacksaw is our coach, and it's it's just a really really shitty situation right now, and hopefully, if the Flyers don't make the playoffs, honestly, I'm kind of rooting for them not to make the playoffs, so there's a better chance that Hacksaw gets fired because with absolute certainty, if they pull together these last 8 games and go like 7-1, 6-2, something like that, even 8-0, that Hackstall will be back without a doubt. So,
Because
I don't know.
It's like the Neuwirth thing. Like,
Oh, exactly.
hey, you sucked, but then you had this one great game, so you're in. Like, we were going to give you a contract extension because you had this one great game. Even though you've been god-awful this entire season, you had that one really good game against that team in the playoffs, so contract. Hackstall, you had 7 good games in a row, and you had that 10-game win streak. Bro,
That's
best coach
17
ever.
out
High
of
five.
82. 17 out of 82? Easy.
Best coach in the
give him, like a
NHL.
5-year contract. Easily. 5-year contract.
Highest paid coach in the NHL. Screw Mike Babcock. But anyway,
And then, yeah,
fuck the team.
staying on... Yeah, pretty much. Like, honestly. Like, screw the team. So, yeah. Screw
Except for
the
this one
Flyers
guy.
is basically what we're saying.
Except for this one guy named Steve Mason, because he called the team out, and that's my favorite moment of the season. That is legit my favorite moment of this entire season. Mace, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have, because it was after the Jets game, which was Tuesday. So yeah, I hope you've seen it by now. But he called out the team for just basically not having enough effort, which I don't exactly like the fact that he said effort, because that's just the chicken way of calling out your team, because the media has done that like all year. It's like, oh, well, they're not giving enough effort. Like, effort is the problem with this team.
I'm not sure if you
It's
saw,
no,
but
they
like
just
CSN,
suck.
like CSN Philly, like I swear it's every other article they say, just not enough effort there from the Flyers and a whatever something lost to whoever. It's literally like it's like a Mad Lib. It's just like fill in the blanks.
Well, I was thinking about this because I was like, okay, they've been using that excuse forever. Like, if the Flyers aren't winning, it's because of effort. It's not because the team sucks. Like, okay, 2011, or 2010, 2011, the last year that we had Carter and Richards, they just kept saying, like, oh, it's just a lack of effort from Carter and Richards. It's a lack of effort. And I get it more with that year than I do this year, because, that team was clearly better than what this team is. Mm-hmm. And that team probably should have went to the finals had Laviolette not just screwed over Bobrovsky the whole season, just been like, yeah, we're just going to play this rookie goalie who has never played in the NHL before, like 57 games, even though we have a competent backup in Bouche. It made no sense, but that's another discussion for another time. But, at least I could understand it then. But every other damn time, it's a lack of effort. It's not like, hey, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare sucks. Why are we playing him on the third line? Chris Van Velde sucks. Why is he getting more ice time than Giroux at times? Like, it's never that. It's just, oh, well, Claude Giroux just didn't lead the team well enough. Just didn't have a good enough effort tonight. It's like, screw the flying hell off with that. Effort is not... Like, what do you want them to do? I don't understand what you're, point to an actual, a bit of evidence that shows that they didn't give enough effort. I see a team that just sucks. It's not like, oh, they weren't trying and that's why they didn't play well. But I don't understand it. But Mason called the team out, and he just said, this was the exact quotes from the Sam Kardashian tweets from after the Jets game. It was up to us to make them feel uncomfortable. We were also facing a goaltender who hadn't had a start in 2 months, and I don't think we made it hard enough for him. We need a better effort. We keep playing like this, and we'll be mathematically eliminated before you know it. And we've got to stop this win one, lose one habit. We have to have some growth on this team here, on the team here. I just love Steve Mason so much, and I hope he wins the Vezina next year and wins the Stanley Cup Finals MVP, the playoffs MVP next year. He deserves it so much. He's amazing.
Yeah, that last line was really important. That they just did, the whole quote was, it's pretty much just cliche of pretty much what many say when they're calling out their teammates.
It's a stereotypical calling out.
Yeah, but that last sentence was really important, because that's where it's okay, well, it's not as much effort, because he pretty much overshadowed that last statement with what he said throughout the entire quote, and that's kind of where it's just whatever. But the last line really shows that he's pissed with what they're doing, because he said he said they gotta break the 1-1 habit. They gotta break the win one lose one habit, and they need to show growth. It's that is more. Growth isn't effort. Growth is improvement, and growth is like the actual like spending of talent and everything. So it's just like he if he were to have said that last statement, that would have been a perfect quote. But it kind of sucks that he did go towards the lack of effort thing, and there always is going to be a lack of effort in some shape or form. It's just that's professional sports. When you get players that are getting paid however much money, millions of dollars a year, to play at the highest level, and they're continuously not putting up results, there's going to be some guys who do not show that effort constantly, and then there's other guys that are going to, i.e. Ivan Provorov, and then there's going to be guys that don't show the effort all the time, i.e. pretty much the entire rest of the team. So it's just like, you wish that everybody would, put in 100% effort, but like that excuse isn't the most valid in this situation, especially with this team, because like we've been saying, the talent on the top two lines is good, and then the bottom two, save from Travis Konechny, is trash, mostly. And so that drop off just gives you pretty much no room for error on the top two, and when there is error on the top two, you just know the game's over.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, if the top two lines aren't going, then the whole team isn't going, because you're not getting any production from that bottom six. And I'm not even going to really count like guys like Couturier and Shen as like a bottom six players. It's just the way the lines are right now, because Hack's an idiot. But like when I say top six, it's like Shen, Couturier, Giroux, Voracek, Simmons, like all these guys. It's like, I just don't understand. And with the thing with Mason, it's harder for a player to say the team doesn't have enough talent, because then you're kind of being more of a dick. Hey, you, Belmar, you suck. Like, you have literally no talent at hockey. But it's easier to say, hey, you gotta try harder. Because then, it's the more, PC way of calling out your team. Yeah. I'm sure if Mason, could actually speak his mind about the team, he would say, you know what, if you guys could quit screening me on every single fucking shot, that would be lovely. I'm pretty sure he would be saying that nonstop. Hey, so I know that you think that blocking shots is important and all, but I can't see the puck, so please stop. I can't see anything. There was a one goal in the Jets game where he's screened by two Flyers. It wasn't even two Jets players. It was two Flyers. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
And then there was that one play, I forget what game it was even in, where it was literally a 1v6, and he got scored on because there was 3 Flyers in front of him.
Oh yeah. You
remember that?
What is he supposed to do? I swear, everyone's like, oh well, other goalies have to fight through screens. I'm like, not like that.
Not from their own players.
Exactly. If you get screened by the opposing team's players, that's one thing. That's a whole separate thing, because the defense still should be clearing the front of the net. But when the Flyers are trying to guard the man in front, they're not even clearing the net. They're just standing there. They're just trying to tie their stick up, which doesn't do anything. Oh, you're stopping a deflection. Good for you. The goalie still can't see the puck, so it doesn't matter if it deflects or not.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, goddammit. But apparently it is to the Flyers, because...
It is. Everything's rocket science with the Flyers. It's just, that's unfortunately how it is. But, we've done enough ranting about the Flyers. Let's just get this season over with, please.
Exactly.
Please,
it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah, really.
Look, Mason is starting tonight. Meanwhile, Neubert started yesterday.
Wow. Thank God.
Of course.
But in the meantime, at least we have some Dario Saric and some Phillies spring training to watch. Because without that, I think we'd all go insane.
Oh, I would be... Well, I think I'm already going insane, but I still agree.
Alright, so basically moral of the whole Flyers story is screw them. Hopefully they play well. I'm not going to say not well enough to not make the playoffs, just because that would just be sucky as a fan when you're in position to make the playoffs and you're saying, oh, well, don't make them. But, I personally wouldn't mind if they didn't make the playoffs, just because then it's a better chance that Dave Hackstall's gone. But who knows about that? And but if they do make the playoffs, then they make the playoffs. Great. But they're
They get
going to
swept
need
in
a
the first
lot
round.
of help.
It's fine.
They're going to need a lot of help to make the playoffs. So.
Oh, and just to close out on the Flyers, next week we got a very special guest to talk about the Flyers. So please
stay tuned.
Freaking be ready for next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, it will be. Okay, so let's get off the Flyers train here, and we'll flip over some Sixers stuff. So Joel Embiid got his surgery. Okay, if you didn't hear, he got surgery. So he got that surgery done on Friday. So just 2 days ago. We're recording this on Sunday. So yeah, he got that surgery done. He had a minor arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. The doctor, Neil S. Eltrache, I believe it's pronounced. He when he commented on it, he said, the overall status of Joel's lateral meniscus and his cartilage is very good. Today's procedure focused on removing a small portion of the meniscus that was responsible for his symptoms. And then he just went on to say that, the recovery program is going to be pretty much transitioning him back to be able to stand on his legs in about 2 weeks, and then he's going to be on a rehab program following that. So, yeah, personally, I thank God that that comment from the doctor is very very encouraging, that he said that the overall status is very good. It was just a small part of it, which is great. It is kind of alarming that meniscus injuries they're not incredibly common reoccurrences, but they do reoccur a decent bit. So we just have to hope that his rehabilitation goes well, and it does suck because the foot injuries were there already. Now the knee, so we just have to hope at this point that he stays healthy.
Yeah, and it's just been a little frustrating situation with JoJo, with the front office is kind of not letting us know anything. And then they spring this on. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, he's having surgery on his knee. It's like, oh okay, thank you. Why?
Yeah,
I thought he was okay. Nope, it's surgery required.
He was good.
Okay.
Yeah, he went from day to day to returning March 4th to out indefinitely to surgery. So.
I feel like a reality TV show needs to be made of this whole situation.
Oh, it absolutely does.
It would
need to be done.
Colangelo will be the executive producer, because he'd be like, all the money.
And then so the draft is also a big thing. Well, they're related, because without Embiid, the Sixers won't win as many games. Obviously, because he's their best player by a mile. Maybe
but
not
Dario's
a mile,
awesome.
maybe about half a mile at this point, just because Dario's been playing lights out. So, if you haven't seen, currently the Sixers hold the 6th draft spot. It goes Brooklyn, whose pick would go to Boston, then the Lakers, and the Suns, and the Knicks, then the Magic, then the Sixers. And the scenarios that are going to arise will be, if there's going to be a few of them. So we have the Lakers pick if it does not fall in the top 3. So if it falls 4 to 14, because that's the lottery, 4 to 14, we get the Lakers pick. And then we also have either our own pick or our picks, or a pick swap with the Sacramento Kings. So if the lottery goes and the Kings get the 5th pick and the Sixers get the 8th pick, then we would have the right to pick swap with the Kings. Therefore, we'd get the 5th pick. So the best case scenario that could arise from it would be the 1 and the 4. It more than likely won't happen, just because Sacramento at the moment only has a 4.3% chance to get the number 1 overall pick, compared to Brooklyn's 25% chance, the Lakers 19.9%, and the Suns' 15.6% chance. So you gotta be optimistic that we're gonna get the 1-4 slots, because then we could. There's multiple things we could go. You can go Lonzo, you can go Fultz, you can go all those guys, and then maybe at 4 you can slip in like a Malik Monk or something like that. But yeah, it's the draft scenario is all gonna depend on the lottery, which is what I do like that about the NBA. I do like the traditional draft style of just directly in order, but the NBA, it kind of just gives teams that are maybe not the best right now, maybe like the 8 through like 12, so like a Minnesota or like a Charlotte, who are close but they're not quite there, so it gives them a chance to get maybe a top 5 pick. So yeah, do you like the draft that the NBA does?
It's like I think for the NBA it's good because I think it kind of depends on the league, because the NBA is such a entertainment heavy league. Like, they value the entertainment aspect of sports so much more than like the NFL does, or MLB, or NHL, really. So it works for them a lot more than it does for, like, if it was done in the MLB, it would be so negatively received. It would be insane. Like, I don't think it would ever get close to being done in the MLB, just because of how the MLB is. Mm-hmm. And actually, I think, what we should do? The Tankathon website, we should do 3 sims each, and we'll see where everything lands and make our predictions. Because why not? Have a little fun on the podcast.
Sure. Okay. Right. So we're gonna go on the third sim. That'll be the deciding.
Or we can just do like 3 sims each, and then we'll just do like for each one, just because.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the sim that I just got was the Lakers getting the first pick, the Sixers getting the second pick, and the Knicks getting the third pick. So that situation would not be as favorable. We're still getting the 2 picks, so we're going to either get Lonzo or Markelle Fultz. But the Lakers would be getting the 1 pick, therefore we would not get their pick. So yeah. That was my sim.
Mine's very bad. It's Minnesota getting the number 1 pick.
Oh wow.
Phoenix, and then the Lakers, and we can't even rely on Sacramento to give us a top 5 pick because they are 8th and we are 7th.
Wow.
So
that is.
So we're most in that scenario. I guess we get like Dennis Smith maybe, or like Jonathan Isaac maybe.
Mm-hmm. About
something like that. That's
something like that.
That's not good. That's very.
Yeah, that is not a good situation. That's
probably the worst case scenario.
That is not a good situation. This is a good sim. I just got a very good second sim. So my second sim was the Suns getting the 1 pick, the Kings getting the 2 pick, meaning that we would get the 2 pick, meaning the Sixers. The Brooklyn Nets getting the 3 pick, meaning that the Boston Celtics would get it, and then the Lakers getting the 4th pick, meaning that we'd get the 4th. So in this sim, we got the 2 and we got the 4, and then it would be.
So I've determined that Jared has the good ones.
Yeah, I'm getting good sims. Like, let's see.
And I have mine's shit. The Sixers get the 6th pick, the Lakers get the 1st. The Knicks get the 2nd, and Orlando gets the 3rd, and Sacramento gets the 7th.
Yeah.
Sweet freaking Jesus, mine suck.
Wow. You're right. You're right. I'm getting really good. Okay, well, listen to this one. So the Mavericks are getting the 1 pick in my sim. Somehow they're the 10th. They're the 10th lowest team at the moment. They'd be going up 9 spots to the 1. And then Brooklyn would be getting 2, so it'd be Boston. And then the Sixers would be getting the 3rd pick. Our own pick is the 3rd. And then the Lakers get the 4th, so we'd have 3-4.
Oh, yeah.
And that situation wouldn't be too bad.
Okay. And then, just to continue my streak of shit, the Sixers get the 7th pick, Sacramento gets the 8th, Lakers get the 1st, Boston gets the 2nd, Portland jumps 10 to get the 3rd pick.
Jesus.
Okay, so good thing I'm not the one doing the lottery. Good thing I'm not pulling the...
Yeah, give me the lottery. Jesus, I just pulled like 3 God picks in a row. Oh my God.
Can we nominate Jarrett to be the representative at the draft lottery?
I would gladly accept. Gladly.
Brian Colangelo just goes, fuck that. I earned this even though I did absolutely nothing.
I did absolutely nothing. I just made a phone call and said I will draft Ben Simmons.
Which was the most easy job ever that a 2-year-old could probably make.
Probably, yeah. I would assume.
So that was fun for you, at least. That sucked.
Wow, yeah, I was not expecting for that to turn out so well. That was good.
I was getting good ones before we even started recording too. That's what's weird.
Yeah, you were getting good ones, and I was getting like ones. So, okay. So yeah, that was fun. That was kind of just like an improv thing. We didn't really plan on that, but that's how it ended up working out. So
we do what we want on the Drive podcast.
Yeah, really though. Like, you can't tell us what to do. Okay, so so the Sixers. As for how they've been playing, it hasn't been terrible. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They won their last game, so they're on a 1-winning streak. If you didn't know, they're not. It's what we'd expect from an Embiid-less, Simmons-less, Dario going off Sixers team. Is basically what we're getting right now.
It's just kind of that weird point in the year where Dario is basically the only player who's performing at like a top-notch level, who's like must-see TV every single night. But the rest of the team is just kind of there. Like, like in the beginning part of the year, you had JoJo making literally every single player better along with Dario, but now it's just Dario kind of being a one-man show, and that's fine. Like, it's freaking awesome to watch.
Absolutely fine.
But it's just like, what's going on with the team right now. They're just kind of waiting to get to the end of the season so we can get to the draft and we can start worrying about for next year.
Yeah. It really, at this point, that's all it's about. Just waiting for the lottery. And hoping that we get some favorable picks. The 1-4 would be ideal, like we said. The odds, not that great. But you gotta be optimistic about it. So yeah. So the Sixers, not the hottest of commodities, but certainly not the Flyers. So, yeah.
The Sixers are still better than the Flyers, so that is the biggest bright spot.
Yeah, they are better than the Flyers, and that's saying something. So to move in now to the Phillies, perhaps the most loved and not hated Philadelphia sports team at the moment, mainly because they're playing meaningless games, but no, not meaningless. The score doesn't matter. Is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, we're very close to opening day. Today, the day that we're recording this, is March 26th, and opening day for the Phillies is April 3rd against the Reds. And then opening day at home will be on that Friday, the 7th of April against the Nationals. So we're closing in on opening day. So that's fun. Which also means that the 40-man roster, the 25-man roster, who's going to be in, who's going to be out, that question will be answered within the next week. So, yes. Currently, the 40-man is lacking possible spots. So, just to kind of run through, Drew Anderson, he's going to stay on. Appel is going to stay on. Asher's a question mark. Benoit, he's staying. Buchholz, Eflin, Eichhoff, Elneri, Garcia, they're all staying. Luis Garcia, he's a question mark. Jemar Gomez, Helix, and Lively, all staying. Adam Morgan, he might be a question mark. He's a lefty, though, so you kind of got to think he's going to be in there. Neris, Nishik, Nola, Pinto, Pavetta, Edube Ramos, Joely Rodriguez, Jake Thompson, Alberto Torrado, and Vince Velasquez, they're not going anywhere. None of the catchers on it, Alfaro Navarro, they're not going anywhere. Blanco, Franco, Galvis, Hernandez, Joseph, and Jesmo Valentin, they're not going to go anywhere either. And then Altair, Cousins, Goodell, who was optioned to Double-A, Tyler Goodell. Odubel Herrera, Howie Kendrick, Quinn, Saunders, and Nick Williams. So, as you could probably tell, there are, no spots.
It is extremely limited. And because the main story that we've talked about this spring has been Jarrett's prediction that Brock Sassy would make the opening day roster. And for a while we thought that was like really going to happen, and then we kind of realized, shit, there's really not that many roster spots for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's not on the 40-man, so he's in a very weird position at the moment.
Yeah, and pretty much the only spots that would be open to a 40-man spot are pitchers. So it's... And at this point, we need lefties, because the only lock to be in the bullpen at this point is Joely Rodriguez, that is a lefty. There's other people. It's probably going to end up being Adam Morgan, because Sean Burnett was released today, actually. So it's pretty much going to be Cesar Ramos, who's been, like, garbage, or Adam Morgan. So Adam Morgan's probably going to be a long man in the pen, because he did start last year a decent amount of games. So yeah, it as much as we probably don't want Adam Morgan in the bullpen. He's going to be in the bullpen more than likely.
You know what I just thought of though? What about Pat Venditti? Because the way I see this happening is, if the Phillies would option Garcia or option Morgan, they could do Garcia as well, and then put just Stassi in one of those roster spots, and then Venditti in the other. Because Venditti's been awesome in the few games that he's pitched. He hasn't even allowed a run in the 3 1/3 innings.
Did you see?
And again,
I liked Pete Maccannon's Did you see Pete Maccannon's comments on him?
I did not. No.
Oh, they're funny. So basically, what Pete Maccannon said. Well, here I'll read you the exact quote here. So Pete Maccannon, this was today on Pat Venditti, who is, if you didn't know, a switch pitcher for the Phillies. He said, "It's fun to watch Venditti pitch. If I'm up in the stands and I see him throw 4 pitches from the right side and I reach over to get my Coke or beer and I look back up and he's throwing from the left side, I'll probably start wondering how many beers I had. He's fun to watch." So, that was Pete Maccannon. That's what he said. So yeah, that's what Pete Maccannon
Pete's
said.
Such a chill dude.
He is. You could just tell from watching, like the way he manages games. Like, did he even get tossed once last year? I don't think he did. But
I don't think so.
Larry Boa, he got tossed.
I'm like really curious about this now.
Larry Boa got tossed for sure.
Because it's Boa, but
yeah. But yeah, at this point, it's really gonna be a 40-man crunch, and then even more so the 25-man crunch, because at this point we're gonna need. So at this point we're going to need a spot for a 5th outfielder, because the 4 that are more than likely going to make the roster are going to be Aaron Altair, Odubel Herrera, Howie Kendrick, and Michael Saunders. Herrera, Saunders, and Kendrick are probably going to start, barring an injury or whatever. But we also need a spot for either Daniel Nava or Chris Coghlan. More than likely Chris Coghlan, just because he's been performing. Well, he started the spring absolutely terribly, but he's been playing a little bit better lately. So we're going to need a definite clear of a 40-man spot for him. And then we also are going... That's really the only clear that we're going to need. Other than that, our 40-man is fine. But then it comes into the question, is Brock Stassi going to be on the opening day roster? And if so, who's getting optioned? And is Pat Venditti going to be on the opening day roster? And if so, who's getting optioned? So there's 3 potential spots. There's one definite, because we need a 5th outfielder. And there's 2 that are going to be up in the air as to whether or not they're going to open up. So, yeah.
I think Coghlan definitely is going to... If it comes down to Coghlan or Nava, I think it's definitely going to be Coghlan just because of the fact that he's played so many positions. Like, Nava I know can play first. I know he can play, like, left. Can he play anywhere else, though? Because I know... I think can he play second? Because I swear I've thought I've, like, seen him play
Coghlan?
second, but I might be wrong about that.
Coghlan or Nava?
Nava.
I'm not sure. I know Coghlan can play second.
Yeah, and that's... Yeah, I know, like, Coghlan can basically play, like, everywhere in the infield. I think except for, like, short. But then that's what I think is going to put the edge for him over
Nava,
in that case. No matter
I
what,
think so
like
as
Nava's
well.
batting a 343 this spring, but it still comes down to the versatility, and that's what you need in a like your last bench spot. You need that type of versatility. So it's going to be tough for Nava, but and it's going to be tough for Stassi too. But if again, like I think that what I mentioned, like optioning Garcia and Morgan, and then using Venditti and Stassi, that might be the play for the Phils. Like I can't imagine them doing it just because it's kind of out there in terms of just a thought, because it's especially with how like little Venditti has pitched in spring training, but even though with how well he's pitched, it's just gonna maybe be too far fetched for them to go ahead and risk it in that type of situation.
Yeah, and another spot that I honestly I highly doubt that we'll have to open a spot, but Andrew Knapp hasn't really played too well this spring. He's hitting 184 in 17 games, 38 ABs, so a decent sample size. He's struck out 16 times as compared to 1 walk, and like I said, he's hitting 184. He was the presumed backup catcher to begin the spring, but now it's a bit up in the air because Ryan Hannigan he's played pretty well. And everybody else not really. So Brian Holiday, he's going to be optioned, as is I think Logan Moore. Yeah, Logan Moore was already optioned. Rupp's going to be on, obviously, but we really need to see Andrew Knapp or Ryan Hannigan, and that might be another spot. But I don't think they're going to want to open a spot for Hannigan because obviously Knapp's already on the 40-man. So, yeah, I don't really think that.
Yeah, I don't think catcher's
happen.
the play there.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen.
Doing it.
Yeah, no. But Odubel Herrera, he's lighting it up. He's hitting nearly 400, and he's slugging 606. So that's a thing, and also having a really flying under the radar this spring, having a really good spring though. Jesmo Valentin, he's hitting 389 in 36 at-bats. He's a candidate to make the opening day roster. That's one of the things that is kind of keeping people from saying, okay, like, let's get Stassi on here. Because even though Stassi has, like, 5 home runs this spring, and he's hitting 313 and slugging 688, Valentin is hitting 389 and slugging 556. He doesn't have any home runs, but he only has 12 less hits than Stassi. And he's hitting at a little bit higher of a clip. So, it's going to be a crunch there. Valentin, Stassi with the 40-man. Valentin is on the 40-man, so wouldn't have to clear up any space for him. So right now, that's looking like what is going to be happening, unless Stassi ramps it up at the end of spring, like he ramped it up at the beginning. But you never know. You never know with the way that Pete Buchanan and Matt Klentak and the rest of the coaching and the rest of the coaching staff and the front office, how they're going to assess it and how they're going to decide. But yeah.
It's definitely going to be an interesting last week here for spring training. It's going to come down to that last day for roster spots, but it's a good problem to have. The Phillies have a lot of depth, and it's a lot of young players too, which is freaking awesome because we finally have something to be happy about with the Phillies. It's not just waiting out the last few years of Howard and Utley and Rollins and all these guys. We have a whole new era of Phillies baseball to look forward to, and it's freaking awesome. And this is probably the most anticipated season since 2011. So I can't imagine any of the other ones being that anticipated.
Maybe 2012, but
yeah,
that
but
year
even
was
then,
it was supposed to be good, but then we finished 500. So
see, was I the only one that year, going into that year, who was they're gonna suck this year? They are not making the playoffs. I remember so many people being oh, their Phillies are still a good team, and I'm looking at the roster no, they're not.
They obviously they weren't as good as some people were saying they were, but they weren't terrible. They
were a 500 team, but
yeah, it was just that year where it was there was a number of injuries, there was rotation problems, and it was just a whole debacle that pretty much nobody wanted to see happen. But that was the last like kind of preseason hype, I guess, 2012. But really, it was 2011, like a full season like hype. And that's what we're hoping for this year, because even though they're more than likely not going to make the playoffs this year, they'll have to play like really well and get some help toward the end of the year, more than likely, to even get a wild card spot. Because the Nationals are good and the Mets are pretty good. Because they're not going to win the division. But we're hoping that the full season hype train can kind of continue with the debuts of J.P. Crawford, Nick Williams. Obviously, Dylan Cousins, he might be upset at some point. Rhys Hoskins might be up at some point if an injury happens. And these guys have shown they could hit, obviously. Rhys Hoskins, he played really well this spring. Dylan Cousins didn't have a terrible spring. He didn't have a great spring, but he didn't have a terrible one. I'm not even sure if he had a home run, which kind of sucks, but he showed it last year at Reading that he could hit a lot. And sure, it's Reading, but still, 40 home runs is 40 home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this season I feel like you have like a sense of kind of like rejuvenation in the organization, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. People are actually excited to watch the Phillies again. Like at least I think that's like the majority of Phillies fans. I know for like the casual ones, it's probably not going to be like that, just because they're like, I don't know any of these players. Yeah, and they look at the roster like, where's Ryan? Where's Chase? Like all the remaining bandwagon fans from the NL East division title run, they're looking at the roster like, who the hell are these guys? Clay Buchholz? What? What year am I in?
Jeremy Hellickson. I thought he was on the Rays.
He was Rookie of the Year last year. What the hell? Odubel Herrera? What? Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun year, though. But they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but I think they'll be wild card contenders.
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
Just to kind of like wrap up, I guess, on the Phillies and baseball, congrats to Team USA for winning the World Baseball Classic.
Yes, that was
hell yeah.
That was great, because it was the first time that they made the final, and was it the first time they made the semifinal too, I think?
I feel like they had made the semifinal before. That would be bad.
Yeah, I know it was definitely. I'm pretty sure it was the first time they made the final. And then obviously they won.
It was the first time that they made the final. Definitely. I'm curious about that. Let me check if they had made the semifinal before, assuming that the Wikipedia for the World Baseball Classics.
Yeah, they did. They played really well the last few games there.
Marcus Stroman
demolished Puerto Rico. Marcus. Oh my God, he pitched lights out. That was crazy. The offense there. They had 5 runs in like the first few innings. It was fun.
Yeah, and then I fell asleep, and I felt so bad that I wasn't awake to see them win it, and I was like, oh, but they kind of got. But there didn't nothing happen after that, so I didn't feel that bad. But they didn't make the semifinals in 2006 at least. But it's taking forever for this damn thing to load. But oh no, they were 4th place in 2009, so that's in the semifinals, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I know I do know is that for the next World Baseball Classic, I believe Mike Trout's going to be playing in it. So
holy shit, Mike Trout international play hype.
If he's a Philadelphia Philly at that point,
oh my God,
we might need we honestly might need like somebody there just to be by his side, because if he gets hurt there, Phillies fans won't be happy. Let's just see.
I think Phillies fans might abolish the World Baseball Classic by themselves.
Oh yeah, I don't see how they would.
Never again.
Oh, I don't see how they wouldn't do that.
Oh my God, if he's on the Phillies at that point.
Oh my God.
We're gonna be paranoid. For one, all my money in my bank account is going to a Mike Trout World Baseball Classic jersey. That's all my money. Just yep, just take it. Please take my money.
Yeah, I have to agree. I would have to agree. I don't see circumstance in which I wouldn't drop like hundreds of dollars on that jersey.
And that's sadly how much it's going to cost, because
Oh yeah,
jerseys are the most expensive sports memorabilia in the
for whatever reason. For whatever reason, because I could buy the exact same thing in shirt form for like $25, so if at most.
Literally, what is that? Like, how does a shirt that is literally a jersey cost $20? Meanwhile, the jersey is like, oh, give me $150.
Yeah,
Like, are you,
and that's like
what?
that's like a low end jersey probably. That's probably like a jersey
Yeah.
for. That's probably a jersey for like Cesar Hernandez.
I think like the. Wait, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that like it doesn't matter about the player. It might just be the same, unless it's just because the Phillies players aren't
Yeah.
that well known yet, and
prevalent,
that's why that
yeah.
they're. But no, like the red alternate for the. It's the cool base jersey, which I think is just like replica or. No, replica's like the really expensive one, isn't it?
Yeah, the replicas I think they're the most expensive. Or not the most,
Yeah.
but very.
Yeah, I don't know. Because then there's like the red alternate, or it's like the flex base. Oh, the authentic. That's what I'm thinking of. The authentic is like $291
Yeah, like
for the blank jersey, like the customizable one. Are you like a what? Who pays that much for a jersey?
you could buy like a TV, like an average,
Exactly.
like a decent TV for that. Like you can get
Probably-
years of
you can
entertainment
maybe buy like 2
for a
TVs.
jersey. Yeah,
God damn.
like it's crazy. Like it really is nuts. But yeah, but we're off topic.
we got so
But who
off
cares?
topic.
Yeah, you know,
But okay,
we're really
to,
hoping
like,
for the Phillies
exactly.
to be good. And the thing is, like, it's so possible that the Phillies can afford both. Okay, they're not gonna afford Trout and Harper. That won't happen.
that's
But-
not possible.
But it is entirely possible that they could afford one of Trout or Harper and like maybe Manny Machado, because Manny Machado, sure, he's good, he's really good, but he's not a Harper, he's not a Trout, so he's gonna be worth a little bit less. And I mean, we probably have to clear house for them for that, but the thing is, it would be worth it because they are two generational talents, pretty much. Well, Trout is. Manny's as close as you're gonna get, and Manny is pretty much a generational talent. Let's be real.
Yeah, in terms of like third baseman, yeah, he's
It's like that's how much the Phillies have to play with at this point, because literally, Odubel Herrera is the only person on the contract books for next year and beyond. The next pitcher that's going to be signed to a long term is gonna be Jared Eichhoff, because he pitched great last year. When he came up 2 years ago, near the end of the year, he pitched, not terrible. He was obviously getting acclimated to the league, and he didn't do too bad. Last year, he pitched well, very well. This spring, he's looked pretty good again. I assume he's going to be really good again this year. He's going to be a workhorse, probably, if not more than 200 innings, close to it. So he's probably going to get an extension. I would imagine somewhere around what Odubel got, maybe a little bit more per year just because he's a pitcher. But, a lot to look forward to for the Phillies. And it's really personified through the performances this spring. A lot of players playing well. Herrera, Valentin, Cam Perkins even. He's probably not going to be a part of the future, but, whatever. Brock Stazzy's been well. Roy McQuinn. Kingery was great this spring. Nick Williams showed a lot of improvement. Well, he walked 4 times this spring. How about that? Nick Williams. 4 walks. Aaron Altair, Reese Hoskins, Cesar, Tommy Joseph. All these guys. They're not huge name guys, but they're role guys that are going to get a job done. So, a lot to look forward to.
and that's the thing. Like, they work out for now, and like you said, we have all the money in the world. Like, we had literally, like, the Phillies have all the money to spend on the big name guys. The Phillies are so set for the future, and just think, even if some of these prospects don't pan out, or like the Phillies don't think that they're going to, they could easily just package them in some kind of deal to get a superstar. So even if, like, worst case scenario, like, these prospects don't pan out, they can still trade them while they still have a decent bit of trade value and get at the very least like a star in this league. Maybe not a superstar like a Trout or a Machado or Harper or something like that, but they can get a really like legit bona fide starter or even more than a starter, like an all-star. So they are set. There's no question about it. Like if the Phillies manage to screw this up, no, I'm not even. You know what? I'm not even going to think about that.
No,
they are going to not. They're going to be great.
They are the franchise like in this city that actually is like reliable. I think.
Yeah, exactly. We probably
like
just jinxed it now. Oh my god.
No, I didn't. I never jinx anything. I said that. Listen, I may have accidentally said that the Super Bowl was over in the second quarter, but that was the only thing. Okay, I don't jinx anything else.
It was you along with like everyone on Twitter also. So
Yeah,
you weren't the only one.
Yeah, we're chilling. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. And like probably in 2 years we might get into a little bidding war with the Yankees. Just a mere like $400 million bidding war. No big deal. For
But
Bryce
come on,
Harper.
who would rather go to the Yankees in New York over Philadelphia?
Yeah, really.
Come on.
Like you're gonna be playing where all these great. You're gonna be playing in the same position that Jason Worth once stood. Like, who would want to do
Like,
that?
come on, Jason Worth,
Really?
Philadelphia legend.
Exactly. He's a legend.
Screw Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle. Jason fucking Worth.
Yeah, Pat Burrell. Pat Burrell was even there probably
Pat
at
Burrell.
one point.
Raul Ibanez.
Yeah,
Bruh.
seriously.
Raul.
Shane Victorino. They were all there.
Doug
They
Glanville.
were all of them were there. And it's, that's like we really need to get somebody, whether it's Harper, whether it's Machado, whether it's Trout. Trout will be definitely more difficult because he's like the best player in baseball. But then like Harper is like, he's like a freaking tank. Like he's gonna give you 35 home runs a year. He's pretty much gonna be 06 Ryan Howard, but like a little bit better because he could run and he could like field better. So
And he can like walk more than and not strike out as much.
yeah, he'll still strike out a ton because that just comes with it. But that's what's pretty much to look forward to for the Phillies, and it's there's really nothing negative to look forward to, besides maybe the fact that they might not make the playoff. They're probably not gonna make the playoffs again this year, but it's whatever. Like we really don't need them to make the playoffs this year.
Exactly. It's if they do again. Same thing with the Flyers. If they do make it, great. If they don't, whatever. Like we have the next seasons. We have the rest of J.P. Crawford's career. We have the rest of Odubel Herrera's career. We have the rest of Aaron Nola's career. Like we're fine. Unless it's gonna be like the biggest like shock in sports history if the Phillies don't turn into at the very least an NL powerhouse in the next 3 to 2 years. Like they're going to be a powerhouse, and there's no doubt about it.
And breaking news: Jordan Wheel scored 1-1 tie.
Oh yeah,
So
Jordan
yeah.
Wheel better
Jordan
be on
Wheel.
the freaking roster next year.
Better be, yes. So okay. So enough rambling about the Phillies. We have come up with we felt, Kyle kind of threw the idea around that the podcast, it didn't end on like the most stablest of measures. So we kind of, brainstormed a little bit, and we pretty much just like agreed on an idea that we said because we think alike, I guess. And so we are going to be introducing a new end to the podcast. So I will let Kyle go ahead and explain, and then give his conclusion.
Yep. So if you're like a first-time listener to the podcast, like this is the first episode that you're listening to, how we would end it before is basically after all that rambling we did about the Phillies, we would just kind of end it there, and we both agreed that was just kind of not the proper way, I guess, to end the podcast. So we just came up with this new thing where it's just basically our hot take of the week, or I'm just gonna name it that, I guess, where we just give an opinion on something. It doesn't have to be sports related, it can be whatever, but in this case it is gonna be sports related. And then So in this case, like I'm doing it this week, Jared will do it the following week. It'll go the same structure as whoever does the intro for the podcast will do the hot take, and it'll just go like that for the rest of it. So
Yes.
I know how I said that it's gonna be hockey related. I changed my mind. It's baseball related.
Okay.
So during the World Baseball Classic, there was a quote from Ian Kinsler that came up, and okay, so if you've been following baseball at all the past couple of years, there's been a lot of talk about this whole quit showing up the other team, quit, like Jose Bautista's bat flip in 2015 basically started all this, with quit showing up the other team, god damn you, how dare you have fun while playing a sport. Well, Ian Kinsler decided to talk about during the WBC about how the DR, I think it was specifically the DR, or was it other teams too?
I'm pretty sure it was specifically the DR. But
Which, that's shady enough as is, that he's just specifically targeting the DR, but whatever. He basically just talked about how, that's not how we play. We want kids to, like, if kids are going to view us as idols, we want to give them a good impression and not what the DR does. And the DR has players like Javi Baez, who, again, very passionate player, very outspoken, flashy, all the stuff that the baseball purists hate, that they want to, it's old man yelling at cloud, how get off my lawn, back in my day Roger Maris just stood there and ran the bases like a gentleman.
yeah, pretty much.
Not these goddamn Dominicans waving their bats.
Damn
and flipping
millennials.
them. But Kinsler had to comment on that, and there was this one. No, first of all, hot take is, fuck that. It's such a stupid ass comment. Sports are meant to have fun. Sports are entertainment. What is entertaining? Bat flips. Odubel Herrera, freaking amazing. I
Bat
look forward
flips
every
on
single one
sac
of these
flies.
at bats.
Who doesn't want to see a bat flip on a
Exactly.
sacrifice fly? Like, are you kidding?
Like, okay, MLB The Show 17 is coming out soon, and I was like, holy shit, it would be amazing if they had, like, Odubel do bat flips for, like, everything. Like, it's not in the game, I don't think. I could be really wrong about that, but if it is, that will be the first thing I talk about on the next episode. But I hope for MLB The Show 18, they do that, because it needs to happen. Odubel needs to do a bat flip for ground outs, strikeouts, sac
Everything.
flies, bunts, everything. So screw this whole idea that, players can't have fun, players can't express themselves. And I'm going to go back to Chase Utley, because Chase is, and always will be, what baseball purists love, because he's a blue-collar guy, if he hits a home run, he doesn't stare at it at all, he just runs the bases, and he runs the bases, he doesn't walk around, or even jog, like, he runs around the bases, like, I don't know why he does it anymore, he's old, like, Chase, come on, your knees have been, like, come on, man, you're nearing the end of your career, you've won a World Series, chill a little bit.
Yeah.
But we all love Chase for that. That's one of the main reasons people love Chase, because he was the hardest worker each, like, day in and day out. But not every player needs to be Chase Utley. Like, get that through your heads. It is not only, like, players are allowed to have personality, and that's the gist of my hot take.
Yeah, and I pretty much agree, like, with everything. Like, the comments, I was confused because I hadn't heard the comments that he made, and mainly in part because, like, I wasn't I was watching the WBC, but I wasn't really keeping up with it, like, crazily, like, as if I would, like, the Phillies. So I didn't hear the comments that he made until maybe it was right after he hit his home run in the final against Puerto Rico. And then I was like, well, like, I don't know why, like, I could see why he would say it, because he himself is similar to how Chase played. Chase and him both really don't, nothing's flashy about their game. Neither of them have what Javier Baez has in his, his flashiness, like you were saying, his charisma and everything. But still, you see, I don't agree with what Kinsler was saying, because, like you were saying, baseball is entertainment. Like, professional sports are entertainment. It's in the entertainment business. Sure, it's athletics, but it's at this point, we just need to accept the fact that the new generations are coming into the game and they're playing it differently, and that's just how it is going to be. And if I don't really see the problem with all these new kind of just like acts that players are putting on, like you mentioned, like Bautista's bat flip started it all. Now you have players bat flipping all the time. You have people staring down pitchers. You have, gestures being made. Like, who cares? Like, it's just all part of the game. Like, why wouldn't you want to see that sort of competitiveness? And so, like, I just, I don't mind it at all. And I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and just to give off what Kinsler said exactly, he said, I hope the kids watching the WBC can watch the way we play the game and appreciate the way we play the game, opposed to it was about the Puerto Rico and Dominican. He said,
okay,
as opposed to the way Puerto Rico plays or the Dominican plays. That's not taking anything away from them. That just wasn't the way we were raised. They were raised differently, and to show emotion and passion when you play, we do show emotion, we do show passion, but we just do it in a different way. And, like, again, just fuck off. Like, quit being an old man yelling at a cloud. Players are allowed to have fun. Like, baseball is a game played by kids to have fun. Like, I'm pretty sure Kinsler is one of those people who, if I don't know if he has a son, but if his son plays baseball, he's probably that annoying-ass dad who's, like, yelling at a T-ball game, like, run harder! Rah! Like,
probably.
You were the dad that everyone hates. And there's, like, there's this Vine that shows Kinsler yelling at some ump. Yeah, I'll try to put in a clip of it in the YouTube video, but it's... the caption is Ian Kinsler showing emotion kids can emulate, and he's just screaming at an ump, and the ump just stares him down like, shut the fuck up.
That's great.
And it's just like, bro, just, what are you doing? Quit acting like you're this amazing leader, and, like, Kinsler, you're a decent player, but you are not, like, no one thinks, when they think of baseball players, the first name that comes to mind is not Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, it's Mike
You
Trout,
play for the
it's
Tigers.
Bryce Harper,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Exactly, yeah. These guys
you are
that
not
are
who people
marquee.
think about.
Yeah, like, and just, like, kind of, like, go back to, like, what he was saying with his comments, like, sure, he may not have been brought up that way by his coaches and his parents and whoever taught him baseball. But the way that, Dominicans are brought up, and the way that Puerto Ricans are brought up, and even the way that the young Americans, millennials, were brought up, and the next generation beyond us, I'm going to say us because I'm a millennial, but the generation beyond millennials, the way that they're being brought up they're being brought up in a completely different society. The game has changed now. The game is a lot slower than it used to be. And so it's more of like it's just the game itself has changed, and the society around us has changed, and it just makes complete sense that the game within the game, in like the celebration and the charisma and and just everything inside the game that is not the actual game, it needs to change too. And so I don't know why people are so against fun, pretty much. Like,
who knows? It's just that baseball purist attitude that the game needs to be played like it was in the 1920s, which it's not the 1920s. Newsflash, it's 2017. Grow up.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing how those people will always say, oh, just get over it. Well, you're the ones who can't get over it. Like, you're the ones who take issue with Starbucks cups being a different color, or baseball players doing bat flips. So come on. Like, quit acting like the millennials are the ones who complain about every damn thing. When
yeah, because like we really don't. We complain about the about the meaningful things.
We complain about actual issues, not, Starbucks cups, okay?
Yeah,
or
really.
bat flips.
Jesus.
We actually focus on, important issues like the state of the fucking country.
Yeah. it's the state of the country isn't terrible at this point. It's not good, but it ain't terrible. So, and you're complaining about people taking a bat and flipping it into the air after they hit a ball 400 feet. So, okay, chill.
Unless that bat is being aimed at your head, shut up.
unless the player has implemented a gun into the bat and is pointing it at you, do not complain. It's just not.
Can you imagine that?
That'd be amazing.
Extreme
not amazing,
baseball.
But that'd be crazy.
I feel like a video game needs to be made that just called Extreme Baseball. Guns and
the bats are like rifles, and then the pitcher's rosin is like a gun, or like a handgun, and the ball
There's
is
a special
a
power up where you can get a bazooka bat.
Oh my god! Okay, that is just I don't know what.
We've gone to rambling again.
Yeah, but it's whatever.
Yeah, we do what we want
here.
God damn it.
Really, really. But yeah, so let us know how you like the ending, the new endings at least. Next week, as Kyle said, will be my turn to make a hot take, and I will try to come up with a very good one because honestly, I kind of want to make it non-sports related. Just to kind of provide a little mix, but that was definitely a very good hot take, and I kind of am disappointed that we disagreed on, or that we agreed on it. But I'm gonna make one next week, and it's gonna be, you're surely gonna disagree, and if you agree, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, yeah.
Jared just ends the podcast there, nope, we're done. Sorry, can't agree with it. Can't freaking agree.
Yeah. So, as long as you do not have anything else, I am out of topics and notes and stats and crap to talk about.
Flyers suck. That's my final comment.
All right. Well, yeah. So, for Kyle, I am Jared. This has been episode 9 of the Drive Podcast. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out, and thank you for listening.
The crowd will tell you what happens.